Hi, hello. This is Sadish Kumaria, Assistant Professor, Department of Agriculture Engineering, Kungnadu College of Engineering and Technology, Tottiyam, Trichy. Today, we are going to discuss about crystallization process. In the case of unit operations followed in food industries, crystallization is the most important practices uh, following in food and pharmaceutical industries to form a crystal forms of particular food products. Okay, first we have to know the basics of crystallizations. Crystallizations is the process of atom ions molecules are arranged into the rigid crystals form from gas, melt, or most commonly from solution. Okay, crystallization is the process of adjoining or joining of atoms, ions, or molecules and arranged into the rigid crystals or forming the rigid crystals is called as the crystallization process. Okay, it is made up of from gases or some kind of liquid melts or some kind of solutions. This is the resources for forming of crystallization. Okay, just move into the crystallization is widely used separation and purification technique in industries. So in crystallization is widely used in the purpose of separation and purification of a particular solution in a food industries or processing industries. Okay, crystallization occurs also in nature. Formation of ice crystals or salt. Okay, crystallization also occurs in naturally manner. Okay, the example of natural crystallization is salt and ice crystals. Okay, these are all the examples of natural formation of crystals. Okay, let's move into the process of crystals formations. Okay, okay. The first picture shows solution of one solid and insoluble impurities. Next, the filter of excess solids, evaporating the excess solids remaining will be placed into the evaporating disk. The evaporating disk placed into the direct heat or indirect heats evaporate to reduce the volume of solutions, transfer into the liquid in the concentrated solutions, transfer into the liquid to disk, transfer hard liquid into the disk. Sometimes the crystals are formed after the leaving into cool or until the solution is saturated. Until the solution is saturated. Okay. So the crystallization only forming in the saturated solutions. Okay, the concept of saturated and supersaturated uh, is the main principles of crystal formations. Okay, what do you mean by saturated and supersaturated solutions? Um, Okay. This picture shows saturated and supersaturated solutions. Saturated solutions means and supersaturated solution means is containing the high amount of or high limit of solids in a particular solutions. That kind of solutions are called as supersaturated solutions. That supersaturated solutions are placed into the direct heat or indirect heat indirect heat during the applying of heat the nucleation will be formed. Nucleation means adjoining of solid particles or adjoining of particular particles atoms to create the nucleation process. Slowly the nucleus will be growth in the big size crystals. This is called as the crystal growth. Okay, the steps involving the crystallization process is following. Okay, crystallization requires supersaturated solution to form a crystals. There are different methods to achieve the supersaturation. Okay, in the supersaturated solutions, the nucleation may be take place. Okay, some seed crystals are usually needed to initiate the nucleation process. Nuclei are likely little baby of crystals. Okay, in the stable nuclei are formed, they are being to grow into the crystals. The stable nucleation are formed and they will be developed into the big crystal particles. Okay, this is the steps involved in the crystallization process. Okay, next move into the supersaturated solutions. This these portions are unsaturated, this portion are supersaturated. Unsaturated means the solution may be accept the more solids into it. Okay, so in the case of supersaturated solutions, the solution cannot be accept the more solid particles because it will be attain the 100 percentage of capacity of holding a particles. Okay, the this line will be saturation curve. Saturation. Okay, supersaturation different as most solids are more soluble at higher temperature. When you have a saturated solution and cool it down, will be get supersaturated solutions. Okay, if the solubility does not vary with the temperature, the concentration can be increased by the evaporation. Okay, other methods of supersaturated are anti-solvent addition and precipitation. Okay, in the methods to forming the supersaturated solutions are first one evaporation, second one anti-solvent additions, third one precipitation methods. This kind of methods develop into supersaturated solutions from saturated solutions. Okay, supersaturation prepare and the preparations process. Okay, a supersaturated solution contains more dissolved solute than saturated solutions. Okay, this is the saturated solutions. Usually use supersaturated solution by heating, dissolving more solution and cooling them. The process. Next, we have to get the supersaturated solution. A supersaturated solution is unstable and really crystallized when the disturbed or heated. Okay, nucleases. Let's move into the nuclease process. This is process in which nucleus start form of supersaturated solution is called nucleases. Okay, in the nucleation process, there are two types are there: primary and secondary. Induced by crystals. Secondary nucleation induced by crystals. Primary nucleations having two types of nucleation process: homogeneous and then heterogeneous. Okay. Crystal growth. When the stable nuclei have formed, they begin to grow into the big crystals. Okay, at the same time, the concentration of the solution is reduces because of the particles of substance are attached onto the crystals. The crystal growth may be on until the saturation point of the solution is reached. Then the solution not supersaturated anymore in process of crystal growth ends before the saturation point is reached. Okay. Next process continue by near crystal growth is filtrations, washing and drying. At the end of the crystal growth, the crystals must be separated from the mother liquids. After the filtrations, the crystals are usually washed. Crystals should be insoluble in the washed liquid, and then washed liquid should be miscible in the original solvents and also reasonably volatile for rapid drying. The main objectives of three final steps is minimizing the crystal changes. Sometimes the mother liquid is desired product of the crystallization process. Okay. Therefore, the objectives of crystallizations, the crystallization process can be modified with the various techniques. Typical objectives are high yield, narrow crystal size reductions, maximum crystal purity, specific crystal morphology, economic and trouble-free process. The choices between the different alternatives are usually compromises. Crystallization in perfect example for crystallization is on the salt formations and the sugar crystals formations. Once we have to heating the sugar solutions, sugar solutions, and the water will be evaporated after, and the concentration of sugar solution will be increasing. That point will be called as the saturation point. Saturation points overheating leads to the supersaturation point. After the supersaturation points attaining, we have to enter into the cooling phase. Cooling phase means in the sugar solution allowed into cool. During the cool period, the nucleus are formed, and the nucleus slowly developed into the crystals. After the sugar crystals formed, the sugar crystals taken from the taken from that and then washing and then polishing and then packed into packed into different forms of sugar crystals, big size, small size, and send it into the market. This is the crystallization process. Crystallization is the giving proper shape or size of the particular product or particular food materials. Okay. After the crystallization, the main important unit operation is distillation process. Distillation is separations of Distillation is a process of separating the component substances from a liquid mixture by selective evaporation and condensation. Okay, vaporization and condensation is the important point of distillation process. The end point will be distillate or condensate. Okay, this picture shows distillation process. Okay, we are going to discuss detailedly about distillation process in the next classes or following classes. Thank you.